The strongest person is not the one who never feels pain, but the one who never lets it control them. Your ability to remain calm in the storm defines your success. True confidence is found in being unbothered by what you can't control. Do you ever feel like life's challenges are getting the best of you? The stress, the criticism, the pressure, it can feel overwhelming. But what if you could learn to stay calm no matter what? Imagine facing any situation without letting it shake you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to act as if nothing bothers you, how to control your emotions, and stay focused no matter what comes your way. Ready to take charge of your peace and confidence? Let's dive in. Number 1. Train your mind to stay calm in every situation. Staying calm is one of the greatest strengths you can develop in life. It separates those who are in control from those who are controlled. It gives you the ability to think clearly, make better decisions, and handle any situation with confidence. But staying calm is not something that just happens. It's a skill. And like any skill, it takes practice. Most people let their emotions take over. The moment something goes wrong, they panic. The moment someone says something they don't like, they react. The moment life throws an obstacle in their way, they let frustration take control. But if you want to be strong, if you want to be unshakable, you must learn to master your emotions. You have to make a decision. Do you want to be controlled by circumstances, or do you want to be in control of yourself? Because the truth is, nothing outside of you has the power to break you unless you allow it. People can say things, problems can arise, plans can fall apart, but none of these things can disturb you unless you give them permission. And that's what training your mind is all about. Taking back that control. Refusing to let anything shake you. Learning to stay calm no matter what. The first step in training your mind is to create space between what happens and how you respond. Most people don't think before they react. They let emotions take over instantly. They hear something they don't like, and they snap. They face a setback and they break down. But if you want to stay calm, you must learn to pause. The moment something happens, stop. Take a breath, give yourself a moment before you respond. That small pause gives you power. It stops you from reacting emotionally and allows you to act with wisdom. The second step is to stop taking everything personally. One of the biggest reasons people lose their calm is because they take everything as a personal attack. Someone criticizes them and they feel insulted. Someone disagrees with them and they feel offended. But the truth is, most of the time it's not about you. People's opinions, their actions, their words, they are a reflection of them, not you. If someone is rude, that's their problem. If someone doubts you, that's their limitation. When you stop taking everything personally, you stop giving others power over your emotions. The third step is to focus on solutions instead of problems. When something goes wrong, most people get stuck in the problem. They complain, they stress, they overthink. But none of that helps. If you want to stay calm, train your mind to focus on solutions. Instead of asking, why did this happen? Ask, what can I do next? Instead of dwelling on the issue, look for the next step. The faster you shift your focus from problems to solutions, the calmer and stronger you become. The fourth step is to practice emotional discipline. Just like physical strength is built through training, emotional strength is built through discipline. This means not letting small things disturb you. Someone disagrees with you. Stay calm. A plan doesn't go as expected. Stay calm. You face an unexpected challenge. Stay calm. The more you practice staying in control, the stronger your mind becomes. The fifth step is to build your self-confidence. A strong mind comes from knowing who you are and believing in yourself. When you doubt yourself, every little thing shakes you. But when you have confidence, nothing can break you. Confidence comes from preparation, from experience, and from trusting yourself. The more you work on your skills, your knowledge, and your mindset, the more secure you become. And when you are secure in yourself, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't let criticism, failure, or setbacks shake you. You stay calm because you know who you are. The sixth step is to develop the ability to let go. A lot of stress comes from holding on to things that don't matter. Holding on to past mistakes. Holding on to what people said. Holding on to expectations that didn't happen. But the truth is, life moves forward and so must you. If something is out of your control, let it go. If something didn't work out, learn from it and move on. The more you practice letting go, the lighter and calmer you become. The seventh step is to surround yourself with calm and focused people. The people around you influence your mindset. If you spend time with people who are always stressed, always complaining, always losing control, you will pick up those habits. But if you surround yourself with people who are calm, who think before they act, who stay focused no matter what, you will learn to do the same. Choose your environment wisely. The eighth step is to take care of your body and mind. A strong mind comes from a strong body. When you are tired, stressed, and unhealthy, it's much harder to stay calm. But when you eat well, exercise, get enough rest, and take care of your mental health, you have the energy and clarity to handle anything. Make your health a priority, and you will find it easier to stay in control. The ninth step is to train yourself daily. Staying calm is not something you do once. It's something you build every day. Every challenge, every difficult situation is an opportunity to train. Every time something tries to shake you, see it as a test. Will you react or will you stay in control? The more you train, the stronger you get. The final step is to make calmness your identity. When you truly master this skill, you don't have to try to stay calm. It becomes who you are. You walk with confidence. You think clearly under pressure. You face challenges with a steady mind. And when you reach that level, nothing, not criticism, not failure, not stress, has power over you. Number 2. Control your reactions and refuse to give power away. Every day you will face situations that test your patience, challenge your emotions, and push your limits. Someone will say something rude. Something unexpected will throw your plans off track. You will deal with difficult people, criticism, and disappointments. And in those moments, you have a choice. You can react impulsively, letting anger, frustration, or insecurity take over. Or you can take control of your reactions and refuse to give your power away. This choice defines your strength. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who never face challenges. They are the ones who stay in control. No matter what comes their way, they do not allow others to dictate their emotions. They do not let negativity pull them down. They do not react based on impulse. They decide how they will respond, and that is what separates them from the rest. So how do you develop this control? How do you reach a point where nothing can pull you into emotional chaos? It starts with one simple truth. You are responsible for your reactions. No one can make you angry. No one can force you to feel offended. No one can control your emotions unless you allow them to. The moment you understand this, you take back your power. The first step is to stop reacting immediately. Most people respond without thinking. Someone insults them and they lash out. Someone disagrees with them and they argue. Someone disappoints them and they let frustration take over. But when you react without thinking, you give control to the situation. You let external forces dictate your emotions. If you want to stay in control, you must pause before responding. That short pause is the difference between being controlled and being in control. The second step is to understand that emotional reactions are often based on ego. When someone says something offensive, why do people react strongly? Because their ego feels attacked. They feel the need to defend themselves. But a secure person does not need to prove anything. A confident person does not feel the need to react to every opinion. The more secure you are in yourself, the less reactive you become. The third step is to shift from reaction to response. A reaction is emotional. A response is intentional. When something upsets you, instead of reacting, take a moment to ask yourself, what is the best way to handle this? Most of the time, the best response is no response. Not everything deserves your energy. Not everything requires your attention. When you learn to choose your battles, you protect your peace. The fourth step is to stop giving people power over you. If someone's words can ruin your mood, they have power over you. If someone's actions can control your emotions, they have power over you. But when you decide that no one else gets to dictate how you feel, you become truly free. No one's negativity can touch you. No one's behavior can shake you. You decide how you feel, and that is the ultimate strength. The fifth step is to build emotional endurance. Life will always test you. People will always challenge you, but every challenge is an opportunity to train yourself. The more you practice staying in control, the stronger you become. The next time someone tries to provoke you, stay calm. The next time a situation tries to frustrate you, breathe and step back. Every time you resist the urge to react, you gain more power over yourself. The sixth step is to remove yourself from negativity. Some people thrive on drama. They try to pull you into arguments. They want to see you lose control, but the best way to win is to refuse to engage. If someone constantly triggers negativity in you, distance yourself, protect your energy. Not everything requires your participation. The seventh step is to train your mind to stay logical under pressure. When emotions take over, logic disappears. But the most powerful people in the world know how to think clearly even in stressful situations. They do not let emotions cloud their judgment. They step back, assess the situation, and make decisions based on wisdom, not impulse. The more you practice thinking before acting, the more control you gain over your reactions. The eighth step is to remind yourself that not everything is worth your time. Think about the last time you reacted emotionally. Did it help? Did it solve the problem? Or did it just drain your energy? Most emotional reactions do not lead to solutions. They only create more stress. If something will not matter in the long run, do not waste your energy on it now. The ninth step is to develop self-awareness. Pay attention to what triggers you. What situations make you react emotionally? What words make you feel defensive? The more aware you are of your triggers, the more power you have to control your responses. Instead of falling into the same patterns, you can catch yourself and make a different choice. The 10th step is to practice patience. Impatience leads to impulsive reactions. When you are in a hurry, when you expect instant results, when you demand perfection from others, you set yourself up for frustration. But when you develop patience, you become unshakable. You understand that everything happens in its own time. You do not let small delays, setbacks, or disagreements control you. You remain steady. The 11th step is to detach from the need for approval. Many emotional reactions come from a deep desire to be liked, to be understood, to be respected. But the truth is, not everyone will agree with you. Not everyone will appreciate you. And that is okay. When you stop seeking validation from others, you stop reacting to their opinions. You live based on your values, not on other people's expectations. The 12th step is to replace emotional reactions with intentional action. If someone criticizes you, instead of getting defensive, ask yourself, is there any truth in this? If something does not go as planned, instead of getting frustrated, ask, what can I do to fix this? Every situation presents a choice: react emotionally, or take purposeful action. One makes you weak, the other makes you powerful. The 13th step is to keep your energy focused on what matters. Every time you react to negativity, you waste energy. Every time you let someone's words upset you, you give away your power. But when you stay focused on your goals, your purpose and your growth, distractions lose their power. You do not have time for unnecessary drama. You do not waste energy on things that do not serve you. The 14th step is to practice gratitude. When you focus on what is good in your life, small inconveniences lose their power. When you train yourself to see the bigger picture, you do not get stuck in minor problems. Gratitude shifts your perspective. It keeps you grounded. It reminds you that most of what upsets you is not worth your energy. The final step is to make emotional control a daily habit. This is not something you practice once and master overnight. It is a lifelong discipline. Every day life will test you. Every day people will challenge you. But every day you have a choice: to react and give away your power, or to stay in control and keep your strength. The more you choose control, the easier it becomes. Mastering your reactions is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. When you control your emotions, you control your future. No one can manipulate you. No one can break you. No situation can shake you. You become steady, focused, and unstoppable. And that is the ultimate freedom. Number 3. Stay focused on your goals and ignore distractions. Your goals matter. Your dreams, your ambitions, your vision for your life. These things define who you are and where you're going. But there's one thing that will always stand in your way: distractions. Everywhere you turn, something is trying to pull you off course. Social media, negative people, self-doubt, meaningless activities, temporary pleasures. All of these things steal your time, your energy, and your focus. And if you let them, they will keep you stuck. They will make you waste years of your life chasing things that don't matter, while your real goals sit in the background, waiting for you to take them seriously. If you want to achieve something great, if you want to make your life meaningful, you must develop an unbreakable focus. You must train yourself to lock in on your goals and refuse to be distracted by anything that does not push you forward. The first step is to get crystal clear on what you want. Vague goals lead to vague results. You can't just say, "I want to be successful," or "I want to do better." That's not enough. You need a clear, specific target. What exactly do you want? How much money do you want to make? What skill do you want to master? What career do you want to build? What kind of life do you want to live? Write it down. Make it real. When you have a clear goal, distractions become easier to ignore because you know exactly what you're working toward. The second step is to eliminate anything that does not align with your goal. Distractions don't always look like distractions. Sometimes they come disguised as entertainment, as small responsibilities, as unimportant tasks. You might think scrolling on your phone for an hour is harmless, but that's an hour stolen from your progress. You might think responding to every message and keeping up with every conversation is necessary, but that's time and energy that could be used to move forward. Every decision you make is either bringing you closer to your goal or pulling you further away. Be ruthless about cutting out what does not serve you. The third step is to set non-negotiable habits. Success is not about motivation, it's about discipline. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you moving even when you don't feel like it. If you only work toward your goals when you're in the mood, you'll never achieve anything significant. You need a system. Set a daily schedule for your work. Block out time for deep focus. Train yourself to follow through, no matter how you feel. The fourth step is to guard your mind against negativity. Distractions are not just external, they are also internal. Doubt, fear, and insecurity can pull you away from your path just as much as social media and time-wasting activities. The world is full of people who will tell you that you can't do it, that you're not good enough, that you should settle for less. But their words mean nothing unless you believe them. If you allow negative thoughts to take over, you will lose focus. If you let fear control you, you will hesitate. And hesitation kills progress. Train yourself to think in a way that fuels your growth. The fifth step is to master your environment. Your surroundings shape your focus more than you realize. If you are always around people who waste time, you will start wasting time. If you are always in places that distract you, your focus will suffer. If you are constantly exposed to negativity, it will drain your motivation. Control your environment. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. Work in spaces that keep you focused. Create a world around you that supports your success. The sixth step is to stop multitasking. Society tells you that doing many things at once is a sign of productivity. But in reality, multitasking is one of the biggest killers of focus. When you split your attention between multiple things, you don't do any of them well. Your mind is scattered, and your results suffer. Instead of trying to do everything at once, lock in on one task at a time. Give it your full effort. Finish it completely before moving on. This is how you produce real results. The seventh step is to build mental toughness. There will be days when you don't feel like working. There will be moments when distractions seem more appealing than progress. There will be challenges that make you question whether your goal is even possible. And this is where most people give up. But you are not most people. You must push through no matter what. Success is not given to those who work when it's convenient. It is earned by those who stay consistent even when it's hard. The eighth step is to manage your energy wisely. Focus is not just about time management. It's also about energy management. If you are constantly exhausted, if you are running on low energy, your ability to concentrate will suffer. Take care of your body. Get enough sleep. Eat well. Exercise. Avoid habits that drain your mental and physical energy. The stronger you feel, the easier it is to stay focused. The ninth step is to keep your eyes on long-term rewards. Distractions often seem appealing because they offer immediate pleasure. Watching TV, scrolling on your phone, going out every weekend. These things feel good in the moment, but they take you away from what truly matters. When you feel tempted by a distraction, ask yourself, is this helping me get closer to my goal, or is this just temporary gratification? When you train your mind to prioritize long-term success over short-term pleasure, distractions lose their power over you. The 10th step is to create a daily reminder of why you started. The longer you work toward a goal, the easier it is to lose sight of your purpose. You get caught up in routine, and your motivation fades. To stay focused, remind yourself every day why you are doing this. Write down your vision. Read it every morning. Picture the life you want to build. When your purpose is strong, distractions become weak. The 11th step is to stay away from people who drain your focus. Not everyone in your life will support your goals. Some people will try to pull you into meaningless conversations, unproductive habits, and negativity. Others will criticize you, tell you it's impossible, or try to make you doubt yourself. These people are distractions in human form. If someone does not add value to your life, distance yourself. Protect your focus at all costs. The 12th step is to track your progress. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. But progress is happening, even if it's slow. Keep track of how far you've come. Write down small wins. Look at the improvements you've made. The more you see your growth, the more motivated you will be to keep going. The 13th step is to say no more often. Many people struggle with distractions because they say yes to everything. Yes to unnecessary meetings. Yes to invitations that don't align with their goals. Yes to tasks that don't matter. But every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to your own progress. Learn to protect your time. If it doesn't help you grow, if it doesn't push you forward, say no. The 14th step is to remind yourself that focus is freedom. Many people think that being disciplined is restrictive, that it takes away their ability to enjoy life. But the truth is, when you are focused, you have control over your future. When you eliminate distractions, you create more opportunities. When you stay committed to your goals, you build a life that is truly yours. That is real freedom. The final step is to never stop improving. No matter how focused you become, there is always another level. Keep learning. Keep refining your habits. Keep pushing yourself. The most successful people in the world do not stop once they achieve something. They keep growing, keep evolving, keep striving for more. Make focus a lifelong commitment. Number 4, develop unshakable confidence and trust in yourself. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build. It is not given to you. It is created by you. Every person you admire, every leader, every successful individual, they were not born with unshakable confidence. They built it through action, through experience, through mindset. And here is the truth. If you do not believe in yourself, no one else will. If you hesitate, if you doubt yourself, the world will reflect that doubt back to you. But when you stand tall, when you trust yourself, when you move through life with certainty, the world takes notice. Confidence changes everything. It determines how people treat you, how opportunities open up for you, and most importantly, how far you go in life. So how do you develop unshakable confidence? How do you train your mind to trust yourself, no matter what? It starts with a decision to take control of the way you see yourself. Confidence is not given, it is earned, and today you begin earning it. The first step is to stop waiting for permission. Too many people hold back because they are waiting for someone to tell them they are good enough. They are waiting for approval, for validation, for recognition. But confidence does not come from others. It comes from within. If you want to trust yourself, you must stop looking to the world for permission to be great. You must decide right now that you are enough. The second step is to take action before you feel ready. Most people believe they need confidence before they start something. They think, once I feel more prepared, I will go for it. But that is a lie. Confidence does not come before action. It comes from action. The more you do something, the more confident you become. The first time you do anything, it will feel uncomfortable. You will doubt yourself. But if you push through, if you do it anyway, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That is how confidence is built, by doing. The third step is to master your self-talk. The way you speak to yourself shapes your confidence. If you constantly tell yourself, I am not good enough, I will fail, or I am not smart enough, then that becomes your reality. But if you train your mind to say, I can figure this out, I am strong, I will succeed, then you begin to rewire your brain for confidence. Your words matter, choose them carefully. The fourth step is to keep the promises you make to yourself. Every time you say you will do something, and then do not follow through, you weaken your confidence. You teach yourself that your words do not mean anything. But every time you commit to something and follow through, you strengthen your trust in yourself. Confidence is built through consistency. Show yourself that you can rely on your own word. The fifth step is to stop comparing yourself to others. Nothing destroys confidence faster than comparison. The moment you start looking at what others have, what they are achieving, what they look like, you take your focus off your own growth. But here is the truth. There will always be someone ahead of you. There will always be someone who seems to have it easier. But their path is not your path. Stay focused on your own journey. The only person you should compete with is who you were yesterday. The sixth step is to face discomfort on purpose. Confidence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The more you step outside your comfort zone, the more you prove to yourself that you can handle anything. Make it a habit to do things that challenge you. Speak up when you feel like staying silent. Try something new, even if you are afraid. Take on challenges that make you uncomfortable. Growth only happens in discomfort. The seventh step is to let go of the fear of failure. Many people never develop confidence because they are afraid of making mistakes. They believe that failing means they are not good enough. But failure is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of progress. Every mistake teaches you something. Every setback makes you stronger. The most confident people in the world are not those who never fail. They are the ones who fail and keep going. Train your mind to see failure as a lesson, not a limit. The eighth step is to stand tall. Your posture affects the way you feel about yourself. If you walk with your head down, if you shrink yourself, if you carry yourself like you are unsure, then your mind follows. But when you stand tall, when you walk with purpose, when you carry yourself with confidence, you train your brain to believe in you. Change the way you move, and you will change the way you feel. The ninth step is to control your emotions. Confidence is not just about how you act. It is about how you handle life's challenges. If you let every small problem shake you, if you let every opinion affect you, if you lose control over your emotions easily, then your confidence will always be fragile. But when you train yourself to remain steady, when you refuse to let small things disturb your peace, you develop true strength. Emotional control is confidence. The 10th step is to surround yourself with strong people. The people around you shape your mindset. If you spend time with those who doubt themselves, who complain, who settle for less, then that mentality will affect you. But if you surround yourself with people who push themselves, who believe in their abilities, who chase their goals with intensity, that energy will inspire you. Choose your circle wisely. The 11th step is to stop apologizing for being yourself. Many people shrink themselves because they are afraid of being judged. They hide their opinions, their ambitions, their personality, because they do not want to be criticized. But confidence means owning who you are, fully and unapologetically. Speak with conviction. Live with authenticity. Do not apologize for taking up space. The 12th step is to keep learning. Confidence does not come from knowing everything. It comes from knowing that you can figure anything out. The more you grow, the more skills you develop, the more knowledge you gain, the more confident you become. Never stop improving. The 13th step is to remember that confidence is a choice. Every day, you wake up with a choice: to believe in yourself, or to doubt yourself, to trust in your abilities, or to question them, to act boldly, or to hold back. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you choose, over and over again. The 14th step is to take responsibility for your life. Confidence comes from knowing that you are in control. You are not a victim. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the one who decides how your life will go. The more responsibility you take, the more power you feel, and power fuels confidence. The final step is to never settle for self-doubt. The world will try to make you question yourself. People will try to make you play small. Challenges will try to break you. But confidence is about refusing to let any of that define you. It is about standing firm in who you are, knowing your worth, and moving through life with certainty. Number 5. Master your emotions and never let them control you. Emotions are powerful. They can push you forward, or they can hold you back. They can make you strong, or they can make you weak. If you let them take control, they will run your life. But if you master them, you will become unstoppable. Most people let their emotions dictate their actions. When they are angry, they lash out. When they are afraid, they hold back. When they are sad, they stop trying. They allow temporary feelings to make permanent decisions. And then they wonder why their lives feel out of control. The truth is, emotions are not the enemy. The problem is not that you feel things. The problem is when you let those feelings take over. You cannot allow emotions to dictate your choices. You cannot let temporary states determine your future. Mastering your emotions means using them as a tool, not letting them become your master. The first step to mastering your emotions is to take responsibility. Most people blame their emotions on external factors. They say, "He made me angry. That situation stressed me out. They hurt my feelings." But the truth is, no one can control how you feel unless you let them. You must stop giving power away. No situation, no person, no event should have the ability to control your emotional state. The second step is to separate feelings from actions. Just because you feel something does not mean you have to act on it. You might feel frustrated, but that does not mean you need to argue. You might feel afraid, but that does not mean you should run away. You might feel discouraged, but that does not mean you should give up. Train yourself to pause before reacting. Feelings come and go, but your actions create your reality. The third step is to stop reacting and start responding. There is a difference between reacting emotionally and responding logically. When you react, you are acting on impulse. When you respond, you are acting with control. The next time you feel a strong emotion, stop and ask yourself, is this reaction helping me? If it is not, do not let it control you. The fourth step is to understand your triggers. What makes you angry? What makes you anxious? What situations cause you to lose control? Most people go through life reacting the same way to the same situations, never stopping to analyze why. But when you identify your triggers, you gain power over them. You recognize them before they take over. The fifth step is to train your mind to stay calm. Emotional mastery is about control, and control starts with your thoughts. When something happens, how do you interpret it? Do you immediately assume the worst? Do you jump to conclusions? Do you let small things ruin your day? Calmness is a skill. You develop it by choosing better thoughts. Instead of saying this is terrible, train yourself to say I can handle this. Instead of saying this always happens to me, say I will find a solution. Control your thoughts, and you will control your emotions. The sixth step is to stop being ruled by fear. Fear is an emotion that keeps people stuck. It stops them from taking risks, from speaking up, from chasing their goals. But fear is just a feeling. It is not a fact. It does not mean you are in danger. It does not mean you are incapable. It only means you are stepping into the unknown. And the only way to overcome fear is to face it. Every time you act despite fear, you weaken its hold over you. The seventh step is to manage stress effectively. Stress is one of the biggest destroyers of emotional control. When you are overwhelmed, your emotions become harder to manage. You snap at people. You lose patience. You make bad decisions. That is why you must have a system for managing stress. Take care of your health. Exercise. Get enough sleep. Keep your mind clear. When you control your stress, you control your emotions. The eighth step is to stop taking everything personally. Many people allow their emotions to be controlled by the opinions and actions of others. If someone criticizes them, they feel attacked. If someone ignores them, they feel rejected. But emotional mastery means understanding that what other people do is not about you. People's actions are a reflection of their own mindset, not your worth. Stop letting outside opinions affect your inner peace. The ninth step is to practice emotional discipline. Just like physical discipline, emotional discipline is about training yourself to stay strong under pressure. It is about not allowing emotions to dictate your mood. It is about staying steady, no matter what happens. When something frustrates you, train yourself to breathe and stay calm. When something disappoints you, train yourself to keep moving forward. Emotional strength is built through practice. The 10th step is to learn patience. Impatience leads to frustration, which leads to emotional outbursts. Most people want instant results. They want things to happen on their schedule, but life does not work that way. The more patient you become, the more control you have over your emotions. Instead of getting frustrated, remind yourself that everything happens at the right time. The 11th step is to build mental toughness. Emotional mastery is about strength. It is about being able to handle anything without breaking down. Toughen your mind by challenging yourself daily. Do difficult things. Push yourself beyond your comfort zone. The stronger your mind, the stronger your emotions. The 12th step is to stop complaining. Complaining is emotional weakness in disguise. It is a way of saying, I do not have control over my situation, but you do. Instead of complaining, focus on solutions. Instead of focusing on what is wrong, focus on what you can change. The more solution-oriented you become, the less control emotions have over you. The 13th step is to create emotional boundaries. Not every argument needs your attention. Not every conflict needs your energy. Emotional mastery means knowing when to walk away. Protect your peace. If something does not serve you, do not engage in it. The 14th step is to stay in control. No matter what, life will test you. People will try to provoke you. Situations will try to break you. But emotional mastery means staying calm, under pressure. It means refusing to give in to negativity. It means keeping your emotions in check, no matter what happens. The final step is to live with emotional freedom. When you master your emotions, you take back control of your life. You no longer allow circumstances to dictate your mood. You no longer let fear stop you. You no longer let stress consume you. You move through life with strength, with clarity, with power. Number 6. Strengthen your mental toughness and stay unbothered always. Mental toughness is not something that comes naturally to everyone, but it is something that can be developed with intention and effort. It's the ability to push through challenges, to face adversity with strength, and to remain unshaken by the obstacles life throws at you. Life will throw curveballs. This is inevitable. But how you handle them defines your mental resilience. If you want to stay unbothered no matter what happens, you must first understand what mental toughness truly means and how to cultivate it. Mental toughness is not about ignoring your emotions or pretending that you don't feel stress or discomfort. It's about the ability to acknowledge those feelings without letting them take control of you. It's the ability to maintain focus and clarity, no matter what life throws at you. It is about being able to keep moving forward, even when things are tough. When you strengthen your mental toughness, you are essentially training yourself to stay unbothered. You learn how to protect your peace and focus on what really matters. This doesn't mean that you won't experience stress or frustration, but it means that these emotions won't control your decisions, actions, or mindset. You learn to respond instead of react. You gain control of your mindset, and that's where real power lies. The first step in developing mental toughness is learning how to stay calm under pressure. Life will challenge you in ways that are uncomfortable, but your ability to stay calm in those moments will separate you from everyone else. When pressure builds, most people panic or make decisions based on emotion, but mental toughness means keeping your head when others are losing theirs. It means taking a deep breath and responding logically, rather than emotionally. When you learn how to stay calm, you gain control of the situation, instead of letting the situation control you. The second step is to develop a strong sense of self-awareness. Mental toughness starts with knowing yourself. It's important to understand your triggers, your weaknesses, and your limitations, so that you can better manage your responses to them. When you know what causes you stress, what challenges you, or what causes you to feel weak, you can take proactive steps to manage those feelings before they get the best of you. Self-awareness gives you the power to recognize when your thoughts are not serving you, so you can shift your mindset before you spiral into negativity. Understanding yourself is the first key to building a resilient mindset. The third step is practicing resilience through adversity. Adversity is where mental toughness is tested. When things don't go as planned, when you face rejection, failure, or disappointment, the real test begins. It's easy to stay strong when things are going well, but mental toughness is about showing up when things are hard. When faced with a setback, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I come out stronger? In every failure, there is a lesson. Resilient people don't view challenges as roadblocks. They view them as opportunities for growth. They don't give up in the face of adversity. They use adversity to build their mental strength. The fourth step is to create a routine that promotes mental clarity. The strongest people are those who have structured routines. They don't rely on motivation to get things done. They rely on consistency and discipline. The more organized you are in your daily habits, the less room there is for chaos to disrupt your mental peace. Whether it's setting goals, following through on commitments, or simply taking time for self-care, your routine is the backbone of your mental toughness. Routines bring order to your life, and when life feels orderly, it's easier to stay calm and focused under pressure. The fifth step is learning to embrace discomfort. Mental toughness is built through discomfort. It's easy to stay comfortable, but nothing grows in the comfort zone. If you want to strengthen your mental resilience, you must push yourself beyond what feels safe. This means doing things that scare you, challenging yourself to perform when you don't feel like it, and putting yourself in situations that test your endurance. Every time you face discomfort, whether it's physical or emotional, you build mental resilience. It's in these moments that you prove to yourself how strong you really are. The sixth step is to maintain a positive mindset in the face of negativity. The world is full of negativity, and it's easy to be affected by it. But mental toughness means staying positive despite the negativity around you. When things go wrong, when people criticize you, or when you face setbacks, keep your thoughts focused on solutions, not problems. The ability to stay positive is a key component of mental toughness. When you maintain a positive outlook, you stay focused on what you can control and let go of what you can't. The seventh step is to stop complaining. Complaining drains your energy and fosters a victim mentality. People who complain constantly are not mentally tough. They are mentally weak. Complaining puts your focus on what's wrong in your life instead of what you can do to improve it. Mental toughness means taking responsibility for your life and not wasting energy on things you cannot change. Stop complaining about your circumstances and start focusing on how you can improve them. This shift in mindset will immediately strengthen your mental fortitude. The eighth step is to keep your emotions in check. Mental toughness does not mean suppressing your feelings. It means not allowing them to control your actions. Everyone experiences emotions and they're natural, but when you let your emotions dictate your decisions, you lose control of your life. Strong people acknowledge their emotions, but they don't let them run the show. Whether you're feeling angry, sad, or frustrated, take a moment to pause before reacting. Ask yourself, what do I need to do to stay calm and make the right decision? Emotional control is a fundamental aspect of mental toughness. The ninth step is to develop a never-quit attitude. Mental toughness is about not giving up, no matter how difficult things get. The most mentally tough people are those who have developed a relentless attitude toward their goals. They don't quit when things get tough. They push through the pain, the frustration, and the setbacks, because they know that success requires perseverance. When you strengthen your ability to stay committed, regardless of the obstacles, you become unstoppable. When you develop a never-quit attitude, you become someone who can handle anything that comes your way. The 10th step is to take ownership of your thoughts. Mental toughness is directly connected to your ability to control your thoughts. Negative thoughts are inevitable, but they do not have to dominate your mindset. It's up to you to challenge and change those thoughts. When negative thoughts arise, don't let them define you. Instead, counter them with positive affirmations and remind yourself of your strengths. The more you practice controlling your thoughts, the stronger your mental toughness becomes. The 11th step is to set clear, achievable goals. Having a clear vision of what you want to achieve is essential to staying mentally tough. Without a goal, it's easy to lose focus or give up when things get hard. But when you set clear, specific goals, you give yourself something to work toward, and that fuels your mental resilience. Break your larger goals into smaller, achievable steps, and take consistent action toward them. The more you accomplish, the stronger your mental toughness will become. The 12th step is to stop seeking external validation. Mental toughness is about being self-reliant. If you constantly seek approval or validation from others, you will never develop true strength. You must learn to believe in yourself without needing external confirmation. When you build confidence from within, you become mentally tough because you no longer rely on others to dictate your self-worth. The 13th step is to practice gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool for strengthening mental resilience. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you shift your perspective from what you lack to what you have. This shift in mindset helps you stay grounded and mentally strong, even in difficult times. Take time each day to reflect on the things you're grateful for, and watch how it changes your outlook on life. The 14th step is to remain adaptable. Life is unpredictable. Things won't always go as planned, but mental toughness is about adapting to change and not letting unforeseen circumstances throw you off course. Being adaptable means staying flexible in your approach while keeping your end goal in mind. It means adjusting when necessary, without losing sight of what you want to achieve. The final step is to learn from every experience. Every failure, every setback, and every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Mentally tough people don't view mistakes as failures. They see them as stepping stones to success. When you learn from every experience, you strengthen your resolve and increase your resilience. Mental toughness is a constant process of learning, growing, and improving. Each experience, good or bad, makes you stronger. Strengthening your mental toughness is a lifelong commitment. It requires constant practice and effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. When you stay unbothered by the challenges of life, when you are mentally strong and focused, you can achieve anything. Mental toughness is not something you're born with. It's something you create through consistent effort. And when you develop it, there is no limit to what you can accomplish.
Number 7. Stop overthinking and take control of your thoughts. Overthinking is one of the most common traps that people fall into. It starts with a single thought or a small worry. And before you know it, your mind is racing in every direction. You analyze every detail, imagine every possible scenario, and before you can even act, you've already exhausted yourself mentally. But the truth is, overthinking doesn't solve anything. It paralyzes you, drains your energy, and often makes problems seem far worse than they actually are. The key to mastering your thoughts and staying unbothered is to stop overthinking. You need to take control of your mind and make it work for you, not against you. The first step to stop overthinking is to recognize when it's happening. Overthinking can sneak up on you. It often starts with just a small worry or doubt, but soon it spirals into a never-ending loop of negative thoughts. You start questioning every decision, every word, every action. You second-guess yourself and get stuck in a cycle of what-ifs. The key is to catch yourself in these moments and immediately make the decision to stop. The longer you stay in this cycle, the harder it becomes to break free. So when you feel yourself starting to overthink, recognize it for what it is and choose to redirect your attention elsewhere. The second step is to train your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems. When you're overthinking, you're often focusing on what could go wrong. You're imagining worst-case scenarios, replaying past mistakes, and wondering if you made the right choice. But this kind of thinking does nothing to help you move forward. It only keeps you stuck. Instead of focusing on the problem, shift your focus to the solution. Ask yourself, what can I do to make this better? How can I solve this? When you train your mind to focus on what can be done, rather than what went wrong, you give yourself a sense of control and purpose. This shift in perspective will reduce anxiety and prevent you from spiraling into overthinking. The third step is to take action, even if it's imperfect. Overthinking often comes from a place of fear or doubt. You're afraid of making the wrong decision, of failing, or of not being good enough. But here's the truth. You will never have all the answers. Perfection doesn't exist, and there will always be uncertainty. The only way to get out of your head and stop overthinking is to take action. Even if you don't know exactly what will happen, do something. Take the first step, even if it's small. Action creates momentum, and momentum will push you forward, making it easier to stop overthinking and get out of your head. The fourth step is to set a time limit on decision-making. One of the reasons we overthink is because we feel like we need to make the perfect decision. We feel the pressure to analyze every angle, consider every possible outcome, and think through every possible scenario. But this level of analysis is unnecessary and time-consuming. Set a time limit for making decisions, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or an hour. Decide ahead of time how much time you're going to spend thinking about a decision. Once that time is up, make a choice and move on. You'll be amazed at how much easier it is to make decisions when you don't let them consume you. The fifth step is to change your environment. Overthinking often happens when you're alone with your thoughts, especially when you're not doing anything productive. It's easy to get stuck in your head when you have too much time to think. To break the cycle of overthinking, change your environment. Go for a walk, listen to music, talk to a friend, or do something physical. By doing something different, you interrupt the thought process and give your mind a break. Physical movement, especially, helps clear your mind and reduce stress. The more you break the cycle of overthinking with positive distractions, the easier it will be to stay focused and calm. The sixth step is to practice mindfulness and meditation. Your thoughts are constantly flowing, and often they pull you in every direction. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment, without judgment or analysis. It's about observing your thoughts without getting attached to them. When you practice mindfulness, you learn to observe your thoughts, notice when you're starting to overthink, and then let go of those thoughts without holding on to them. Meditation is a powerful tool to help you quiet your mind and bring you back to the present moment. With regular practice, you'll find it easier to stop overthinking and stay grounded in the here and now. The seventh step is to let go of the need for control. Overthinking often comes from a desire to control everything. We want to make the perfect decision, avoid any mistakes, and ensure that everything goes according to plan. But the truth is, control is an illusion. There is only so much you can control, and trying to control everything will only lead to frustration and anxiety. Learn to accept that you cannot control everything. Life will happen whether you overthink it or not. Let go of the need for perfection, and embrace the uncertainty. Trust that things will work out, and that you will be able to handle whatever comes your way. The eighth step is to challenge negative thoughts. When you overthink, your mind often drifts into negative thinking. You focus on what could go wrong, what you're doing wrong, or what might happen in the future. Negative thoughts feed the cycle of overthinking, making it harder to break free. To stop overthinking, you need to challenge those negative thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is this thought based on reality, or is it just a fear? What is the evidence for and against this thought? When you question negative thoughts, you'll often find that they're exaggerated or unfounded. This will help you break the pattern of overthinking and regain control of your mind. The ninth step is to practice self-compassion. Overthinking often comes from a place of self-doubt and fear of making mistakes. When you make a mistake, you replay it in your mind, overanalyzing every detail. You beat yourself up over things you can't change. But this kind of thinking only makes things worse. Instead, practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Understand that you're human, and you will make mistakes. Mistakes are a natural part of growth and learning. When you stop criticizing yourself and accept that it's okay to not have all the answers, you free yourself from the need to overthink everything. The 10th step is to focus on what you can control. Overthinking often happens when we worry about things beyond our control. We ruminate on the past, the future, or things that are outside of our influence. But the key to stopping overthinking is to focus on what you can control in the present moment. What can you do right now to make things better? Focus on your actions, your attitude, and your responses. The more you focus on the present and what you can control, the less time you'll spend in your head. The 11th step is to stop worrying about what others think. Overthinking is often fueled by a fear of judgment. You wonder if others will approve of your decisions, if you're doing the right thing, or if you'll make a mistake in front of others. But worrying about what others think is a waste of energy. People are more focused on their own lives than on judging yours. When you stop worrying about others' opinions, you free yourself from the cycle of overthinking. You realize that your decisions are yours to make, and you don't need validation from others to move forward. The 12th step is to simplify your choices. One of the reasons we overthink is because we have too many options. The more choices we have, the more we analyze and second-guess each one. To stop overthinking, simplify your choices, narrow down your options, and focus on what's most important. By making fewer decisions, you reduce the mental clutter and make it easier to focus on the task at hand. Simplicity leads to clarity, and clarity leads to action. The final step is to trust yourself. Overthinking often comes from a lack of trust in your own abilities. You question your decisions, your judgment, and your capacity to handle challenges. But when you trust yourself, you stop second-guessing every move you make. You trust that you are capable of making the right decision, even if it's not perfect. When you trust yourself, you eliminate the need to overthink, because you have confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Stopping overthinking is not an overnight process. It requires practice, awareness, and a commitment to change. But once you take control of your thoughts, you will find that your mind becomes a powerful ally. When you stop overthinking, you stop wasting energy on things that don't matter, and start focusing on what really does. You regain control of your life, and move forward with clarity and confidence.
Number 8. Remain composed under pressure and never show weakness. Remaining composed under pressure is one of the greatest skills you can develop in life. It's not something you're born with, but something that can be cultivated through practice and focus. Every single person, no matter how successful or confident they may seem, faces pressure. The difference between those who rise above it and those who crumble under it is their ability to stay composed in the face of adversity. It's about maintaining a calm and controlled demeanor when everything around you seems to be falling apart. It's about not letting your emotions dictate your actions in those critical moments. Pressure comes in many forms. It can be in the workplace, at home, or even during moments of personal crisis. No matter where it comes from, how you respond is what defines your character. The most important thing to understand is that pressure itself is not the enemy. Pressure is a natural part of life. It's how you react to pressure that determines whether it will help or hurt you. The first step in remaining composed under pressure is recognizing that pressure is temporary. The feelings of stress, anxiety, and discomfort you might feel in a tough situation are all temporary. They will pass. It's easy to let yourself get overwhelmed by the immediate intensity of the situation, but remember, it's just a moment in time. This mindset shift is critical. It reminds you that no matter how overwhelming things may seem, it will not last forever. You will get through it, and you will be stronger because of it. When you remind yourself of this truth, you free yourself from the paralyzing fear that comes with pressure. The second step is learning to breathe through the pressure. In stressful situations, our bodies naturally respond with a surge of adrenaline. Our heart rate increases, our breathing becomes shallow, and we feel the weight of the world pressing down on us. In these moments, the simple act of breathing deeply and slowly can make all the difference. Deep breathing has the power to calm the nervous system, reduce anxiety, and refocus your mind. It helps you center yourself in the present moment, giving you the clarity and composure you need to act decisively. Every time you feel the pressure rising, take a deep breath and remember that you are in control. The third step is to focus on the facts, not your emotions. Pressure often brings up strong emotions like fear, frustration, and doubt. It's natural to feel these things when facing challenges. But emotions, while valid, can cloud your judgment. They can distort your perspective and lead to impulsive reactions.
When you find yourself under pressure, shift your focus away from your emotional response and toward the facts of the situation. What is really happening? What do you need to do to move forward? By focusing on the facts, you regain control over your actions and remove the emotional charge from the situation. The fourth step is to detach from the outcome. A lot of the pressure we feel comes from the fear of failure or the desire to control the outcome. We get so focused on the end result that we lose sight of what we need to do in the moment. This fear can create a cycle of anxiety that keeps us from performing at our best. Instead of obsessing over the outcome, detach from it. Trust the process. Focus on doing what you can in the present moment, and let go of your need to control everything. When you release the pressure to achieve a specific outcome, you allow yourself to act with a clear mind and a calm demeanor. This shift in mindset gives you the space to make better decisions and perform at your highest level regardless of what happens next. The fifth step is to embrace the challenge. Many people view pressure as a negative force, something to be avoided at all costs. But the truth is, pressure can be a powerful motivator. It's the driving force behind growth and improvement. When you face pressure, you have an opportunity to prove what you're capable of. Instead of shying away from the challenge, embrace it. Recognize that the pressure you feel is a sign that you are pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. This is where growth happens. When you embrace the pressure, you shift your perspective from one of fear to one of excitement. The challenge becomes a stepping stone, not an obstacle. The sixth step is to trust in your preparation. Pressure often leads to self-doubt. When things get tough, it's easy to question whether you are capable of handling the situation. This is where preparation comes in. The more you prepare for difficult situations, the more confident and composed you will feel when pressure arises. Preparation gives you the tools and the mindset to handle whatever comes your way. It doesn't matter how challenging the situation is, if you've prepared yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally, you will be able to handle it with poise. Preparation breeds confidence, and confidence allows you to remain calm under pressure. The seventh step is to maintain perspective. It's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture when you're caught up in a high-pressure situation. You become fixated on the immediate problem, and everything else fades into the background. But in these moments, it's important to take a step back and remember the broader context. Is this challenge truly as significant as it feels in the moment? Will it matter a year from now, 5 years from now, or 10 years from now? When you gain perspective, you realize that many of the things you worry about in the heat of the moment are not as critical as they seem. This shift in perspective helps you maintain composure because you realize that not every challenge is life or death. The eighth step is to remain solution-focused. When under pressure, it's easy to get caught up in the problem. You might replay the same thoughts over and over in your head, stuck in a cycle of frustration and uncertainty. But the key to staying composed is to focus on solutions, not problems. Ask yourself, what can I do to solve this? What steps can I take right now to move forward? When you approach the situation with a mindset of problem solving, you immediately shift from a passive, reactive state to an active, proactive one. You stop dwelling on the pressure itself and start working toward a resolution. This approach helps you remain calm and collected, no matter how intense the pressure may be. The ninth step is to practice resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity and stay strong in the face of difficulty. Pressure can break some people, but resilient individuals use pressure as fuel. They don't allow setbacks to define them. Instead, they use those setbacks as stepping stones to grow stronger. If you want to remain composed under pressure, you must develop resilience. This doesn't mean you won't face challenges, but it means that you will always find a way to rise above them. Resilience is built through experience. Every time you face a challenge and come out on the other side, you build your resilience. This is why pressure is so valuable. It gives you the opportunity to strengthen your resilience. The 10th step is to never show weakness, even when you feel it. Showing weakness can be tempting in moments of pressure. It's natural to want to vent, to seek sympathy, or to let others know how tough things are. But showing weakness, especially in high-pressure situations, can undermine your ability to remain composed. It signals to others that you are struggling, which can make them lose confidence in you. Instead, maintain a composed and confident exterior. This doesn't mean you have to hide your feelings or pretend that everything is perfect, but it does mean that you maintain a sense of strength and control.
When you remain composed, others will follow your lead and you will be better equipped to handle the situation with grace and dignity. The 11th step is to remember your purpose. When you're under pressure, it's easy to forget why you're doing what you're doing. The pressure takes over, and you lose sight of the bigger picture. But when you reconnect with your purpose, you find the strength to push through. Your purpose is what drives you. It's the reason you take action, the reason you keep going when things get tough. When you remind yourself of your purpose, you reignite your passion and focus, which helps you stay composed in the face of pressure. The 12th step is to visualize success. Visualization is a powerful tool that many successful people use to remain composed under pressure. By mentally rehearsing a successful outcome, you prepare yourself to handle the situation with confidence and poise. When you visualize success, you remove doubt and replace it with belief. You train your mind to focus on positive outcomes, which helps you stay calm and focused when pressure rises. Visualization doesn't guarantee that everything will go perfectly, but it does prepare you to handle challenges with composure and confidence.
Number 9. Practice emotional discipline and never react out of anger. Emotional discipline is one of the most powerful tools you can develop in your life. Anger, frustration, and impatience are emotions everyone feels at one point or another, but how you respond to them will shape your life. People who act out of anger often regret their actions later, while those who practice emotional discipline remain calm and in control. The ability to respond thoughtfully, rather than react impulsively, is a skill that requires effort, self-awareness, and patience. It's about understanding that your emotions do not have to control you. Instead of reacting out of anger, you can choose how to respond. And in doing so, you become the master of your own behavior. First, you must recognize that anger is a natural emotion. It's a human response that comes from feeling threatened, frustrated, or misunderstood. Anger is not inherently bad, but how you handle it makes all the difference. The key is not to suppress your anger or deny it, but to learn how to manage it. When you ignore your anger, it festers and grows, often leading to explosive outbursts at the worst times. On the other hand, when you acknowledge your anger and take steps to manage it, you can diffuse it before it has a chance to take control of your actions. The first step in practicing emotional discipline is to create awareness of your triggers. Understanding what makes you angry is critical to preventing emotional reactions. Some people get angry when they feel disrespected, others when they feel unheard, and some might get upset when things don't go as planned. Recognizing what triggers your anger helps you prepare for these situations. Once you know what pushes your buttons, you can create a plan for how to respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively. For instance, if you know that being interrupted in conversations frustrates you, practice taking a deep breath and waiting for the other person to finish before speaking. Next, take time to pause. It sounds simple, but in the heat of the moment, it can be difficult to stop and think before responding. The instinct when we're angry is to lash out, speak our minds, or react immediately, but this rarely produces the results we want. Taking a pause, even if it's just a few seconds, gives you time to breathe, collect your thoughts, and respond intentionally rather than reacting without thought. In these moments, your mind is racing, your heart rate is up, and you feel like you need to act right away. But it's in these moments that the pause becomes the most valuable. That brief moment of stillness allows you to gain control of your emotions before they control you. During this pause, you must practice deep breathing. When you're angry, your body undergoes a physiological change. Your breathing becomes shallow, your heart rate increases, and your muscles tense. These physical responses to anger can make it even harder to think clearly. By practicing deep breathing, you can activate your body's relaxation response. Deep breathing brings oxygen to your brain, helping you to think more clearly. It reduces the physical symptoms of anger, such as tension and rapid heartbeat, making it easier to regain control. When you feel anger rising, take a few deep breaths. Inhale slowly, hold it for a moment, and then exhale gently. This simple act can reset your emotional state and put you in a position to respond calmly. Another critical aspect of emotional discipline is the ability to manage your internal dialogue. Our thoughts drive our emotions. When we're angry, we often tell ourselves stories like, "This is unfair,"
or I can't believe this is happening to me. These thoughts feed our anger and make the situation worse. The key to emotional discipline is to challenge these negative thoughts and replace them with more rational, objective ones. Instead of saying, "This is so unfair, I can't believe this is happening," try thinking, "This situation is frustrating, but I can handle it." By changing your internal narrative, you can shift your emotional state from one of anger to one of control. Your mind has the power to change how you feel, and it all starts with your thoughts. It's also important to recognize that reacting out of anger often leads to poor decisions. When you act out of anger, your judgment is clouded, and you may say or do things you'll regret later. If you've ever been in a situation where you acted impulsively in anger, you know that it doesn't lead to productive outcomes. It's important to remember that the best decisions are made when you are calm, clear-headed, and in control of your emotions. By choosing to respond thoughtfully, rather than react impulsively, you are more likely to make decisions that are in your best interest and lead to better outcomes. When you take the time to think before reacting, you create space for rational decision-making, which ultimately strengthens your emotional discipline. Another powerful way to practice emotional discipline is through self-reflection. After an emotional situation, take time to reflect on how you handled it. Ask yourself questions like, "Did I handle that well?" or "What could I have done differently?" Self-reflection helps you gain insight into your emotional responses and gives you the opportunity to learn from your experiences. It allows you to identify patterns in your behavior and recognize areas where you can improve. Over time, self-reflection strengthens your emotional discipline by helping you become more self-aware and more intentional in how you respond to situations. One of the best ways to practice emotional discipline is by setting boundaries. When you are clear about your boundaries, you are less likely to become angry or frustrated when others cross them. Setting boundaries means knowing your limits and being willing to communicate them effectively. For example, if you feel angry when people constantly interrupt you, set a boundary by politely but firmly saying, "I'd like to finish my thought before you respond." Boundaries help you maintain control over your emotions by giving you the space to express yourself in a way that feels respectful and healthy. When you set clear boundaries, you create a framework for interacting with others that minimizes conflict and reduces the likelihood of reacting out of anger. One of the most important aspects of emotional discipline is learning how to forgive. Holding on to anger and resentment can be incredibly damaging to your mental and emotional well-being. It's easy to get caught up in anger, especially when someone has wronged you or treated you unfairly. But holding on to that anger only keeps you trapped in the past, unable to move forward. Forgiveness does not mean excusing someone's behavior or saying that what they did was okay. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the negative emotions that hold you back. When you forgive, you let go of the anger, and you take back control of your emotional state. You no longer allow the other person's actions to dictate your emotions. Instead, you choose to move on and focus on your own well-being. In some situations, it may be necessary to express your anger or frustration, but this should always be done in a respectful and constructive way. Emotional discipline doesn't mean repressing your emotions, it means expressing them appropriately. If something is bothering you, it's okay to speak up, but do so in a way that is calm and measured. For example, instead of yelling at someone, express your feelings by saying, "I'm frustrated because," or "I feel upset when." By using I statements and focusing on your feelings rather than blaming others, you communicate in a way that is more likely to lead to resolution instead of escalating the conflict. Another key to emotional discipline is understanding that it's okay to feel angry, but it's not okay to act on that anger in a destructive way. Anger is a normal human emotion, but how you choose to express it is what matters. You may feel angry, but that doesn't mean you have to lash out at others, make rash decisions, or act impulsively. Recognizing that your emotions don't have to dictate your actions is a powerful step in building emotional discipline. When you learn to manage your anger, you regain control of your life and your reactions. Lastly, practicing emotional discipline requires patience with yourself. You won't always handle every situation perfectly, and that's okay. Emotional discipline is a skill that takes time to develop, and you will make mistakes along the way. The important thing is to learn from those mistakes and keep improving. Each time you respond thoughtfully, instead of reacting out of anger,
you strengthen your emotional discipline. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. So be patient with yourself and recognize that this is a journey of personal growth.
Number 10. Face criticism with confidence and never take it personally. Criticism is something every person will face at some point in their life, whether it comes from a colleague, a friend, a family member, or even a stranger. The way you respond to criticism will determine how much power it holds over you. Many people take criticism personally, allowing it to affect their self-worth and emotional well-being. But here's the truth. Criticism, when handled correctly, doesn't have to hurt. In fact, it can be a powerful tool for growth and self-improvement if you learn to face it with confidence and an open mind. The key is to detach yourself from the emotional reaction that criticism often triggers and approach it from a place of self-assurance and perspective. The way you respond to criticism will shape your success, your confidence, and your emotional resilience. First, let's establish one thing. Criticism is not a reflection of your worth as a person. When someone criticizes you, they're not criticizing who you are at your core. They are responding to a specific action, behavior, or outcome. You must remember that their opinion does not define your value. Too many people internalize criticism and start to question their self-worth or abilities. But the reality is that no one is perfect. We all make mistakes and have areas in which we can improve. Criticism is simply feedback. It's an opportunity to learn, grow, and become better. When you face criticism with confidence, you understand that the feedback is about what you can do differently, not about your identity as a person. One of the most important things you can do when receiving criticism is to separate the feedback from your emotions. It's natural to feel defensive when someone criticizes you, but the more you react emotionally, the more control that criticism has over you. Instead of immediately responding with anger, frustration, or self-doubt, take a step back and breathe. Give yourself some space to process the criticism before reacting. When you respond from a calm, composed place, you're better able to take the information in without letting it negatively affect you. You gain more control over your emotions and avoid falling into the trap of taking things personally. An effective strategy for facing criticism with confidence is to actively listen to the feedback being given. Rather than immediately dismissing or defending yourself, truly listen to what the person is saying. Often when we're criticized, our initial instinct is to explain ourselves, justify our actions, or defend our decisions. But this defensive approach only makes it harder to learn from the feedback. When you listen actively, you open yourself up to growth and improvement. Ask questions if you need clarification, and focus on understanding the underlying message behind the criticism. Even if the criticism feels harsh, there is often valuable information in it that can help you improve. Another important aspect of facing criticism with confidence is recognizing the source. Not all criticism is created equal, and not all feedback is worth your attention. Some people criticize out of jealousy, insecurity, or a desire to bring you down. In these cases, it's important to recognize that their criticism says more about them than it does about you. If someone is being negative or unconstructive, don't give their words power. Focus on the criticism that comes from people who genuinely care about your growth and development. Seek out feedback from those who want to see you succeed, and be willing to take that feedback seriously. But at the same time, don't allow unhelpful or hurtful criticism to affect you. Let it roll off your back and keep moving forward. On the other hand, constructive criticism, even when difficult to hear, can be incredibly valuable. Constructive feedback is offered with the intent of helping you improve, and it should be viewed as a gift. When you approach criticism from a place of confidence, you can see the opportunity for growth that lies within it. Instead of feeling threatened by criticism, embrace it as a chance to develop and refine your skills. Look for the actionable advice in the feedback, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? When you take a constructive approach to criticism, you're able to use it to propel yourself forward, rather than allowing it to hold you back. A big part of not taking criticism personally is developing strong self-worth and confidence. If you don't believe in your abilities and value, criticism can feel like an attack on your character. But when you're confident in who you are and what you bring to the table, criticism becomes less of a threat. You can view it for what it is,
an opportunity to improve. Building your self-confidence starts with recognizing your strengths and achievements. Acknowledge the work you've done and the progress you've made. Remind yourself of the skills and talents you possess. When you have a strong sense of self, criticism no longer feels like a blow to your identity. Instead, it becomes just another tool for growth. Another way to develop confidence in the face of criticism is to remind yourself that everyone faces criticism. No one is exempt. The most successful people in the world have all faced criticism at some point. Whether it's in their career, personal life, or public endeavors, they have all dealt with the opinions of others. But what sets successful people apart is how they handle criticism. Instead of letting it derail them, they use it as fuel to push forward. They don't allow criticism to define their worth or capabilities. They use it as a stepping stone to become better versions of themselves. When facing criticism, it's also important to practice gratitude. This may sound counterintuitive, but adopting a mindset of gratitude can actually help you deal with criticism in a more positive way. When you receive criticism, pause and think about what you can be grateful for in the situation. Perhaps the feedback is challenging, but it's offering you a chance to improve. Maybe the person delivering the criticism has a unique perspective that can help you see things from a different angle. By focusing on the benefits that come from criticism, you can approach it with a sense of gratitude instead of defensiveness. Gratitude shifts your mindset and helps you see criticism as a gift rather than a setback. In addition, it's important to remember that criticism doesn't have to be accepted without question. If you believe that the feedback is incorrect or unfair, you have the right to speak up. However, it's essential to do this respectfully and with an open mind. Responding with anger or defensiveness will only escalate the situation. Instead, calmly express your perspective and ask for clarification if needed. Engaging in constructive dialogue shows maturity and confidence. It demonstrates that you are open to feedback, but also confident in your ability to assess and respond to it thoughtfully. Over time, the more you practice handling criticism with confidence, the easier it becomes. You'll start to realize that it no longer affects you in the same way. Rather than feeling wounded or discouraged, you'll become more resilient and focused on growth. With every piece of feedback, you'll become more equipped to improve yourself and your work. And remember, the more confident you are in your abilities, the less power criticism will have over you. Another important point to consider is not letting criticism become an excuse to stop improving. Sometimes, people take criticism too personally and start to doubt their capabilities. They may feel like they'll never be good enough, or that they should stop trying altogether. But this is exactly the opposite of what criticism should motivate you to do. Instead of using criticism as a reason to quit, use it as a reason to push forward and keep improving. Every successful person has faced setbacks and failures, but they didn't let criticism stop them. They used it as a catalyst for their next step, their next level of greatness.